Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into another San Francisco 49ers news and rumors video here on Chat Sports. A lot of stuff going around. Obviously, OTAs have been going on for the past couple of weeks. Let's get into all the latest news and rumors surrounding our San Francisco 49ers. Starting, of course, with Jimmy Garoppolo, and there's a good update here in terms of his health. Kyle Shanahan seems to be indicating that Garoppolo is well ahead of schedule and moving right along, coming back from that ACL that he tore, of course, last year in Week 3. He's done everything at OTAs except 11 on 11, which makes a lot of sense because 11 on 11, pass rushers coming, you have offensive linemen's feet, moving back into you. And so in terms of rehabbing an ACL, you want to keep the knees and the legs clean. So it makes sense that he would do every single thing at OTAs except for the 11 on 11s. And it's looking like Garoppolo will be fully cleared to participate in all activities come training camp at the end of July. So this all stems from a quote from Kyle Shanahan a couple days ago at Niners OTAs where he said, quote, "Jimmy is coming along just fine. We all know he had the ACL injury last year. We've had him in everything right now. The doctors won't quite clear him yet, and we'll listen to the doctors, but he's had 160 reps in 7-on-7 drills, so he's getting plenty of reps." Couple of things here. Again, it's important that he's getting those reps because he has a lot of young wide receivers, which we talk about a lot here on this show in terms of Pettis and Goodwin, and of course the rookies, Jalen, Hurd, and Deebo Samuel. These guys need to get reps with quarterback number one. And that's, of course, going to be Jimmy Garoppolo starting with Week 1. So it's good that we're seeing at least the 7-on-7 reps right here. We'll wait for the 11-on-11s, but again, it's looking like Jimmy Garoppolo should be just fine for the start of training camp. And again, this is what you get when you get Jimmy Garoppolo healthy. We all know here, 17 touchdowns in his career, 65% completion percentage, the 97.3 rating. These are all big-time stats. And if he can recreate these numbers in a full 16-game season, listen, the sky's the limit for the 49ers. We've seen great quarterbacks carry subpar rosters. Aaron Rodgers does it all the time in Green Bay. Garoppolo could be doing that this year, and hopefully we stay on track now because that's what we got to watch out now for is any setbacks in his recovery. But it looks like he should be moving right along and on track and should be good to go. So the question here for you guys, are you concerned about Jimmy G's not just history of injury this year, but injury history in the past? Any concern going forward this year? Or are you guys ready to roll with him and think he's going to be healthy for 16 games? Let me know down below. This next bit of information, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because when they hired this coach in the offseason, didn't make a lot of buzz. A lot of people kind of forgot about the fact that they hired Wes Welker as the receiving coach, the receivers coach in the offseason. Of course, Wes Welker, played with the Patriots under Tom Brady and also went to Denver to play with Peyton Manning on that record-setting offense, 5 Pro Bowlers. And the goal for the addition of Welker is to add a, quote, tough mindset to the 49ers wide receiver core. So Kyle Shanahan, again, had a nice quote on Wes Welker in terms of what he sees Welker doing on the field that's going to help improve this young and hopefully, improving wide receiver core. Shanahan said, quote, we'll throw it up on the screen there. That's a guy, Welker, who not only was really talented, but made it because of what was upstairs and also how he developed. Knowing he's put in the work and put 2 hard years in at Houston, going the quality control route, and just talking to him and interviewing him, you can tell he was serious about becoming a coach and was ready to put in the work, put in the hours. He's a talented guy and a good person. I feel fortunate to have him on our staff. Did you guys forget that Wes Welker was on this staff? Because I'll be honest, I kind of did. So when this story popped up when I was reading about it, I go, wait a second, that's right. Welker is the wide receiver coach. And for me, I'm all for this. Like we have seen in the NFL where sometimes past players who are good players don't make good coaches. Like there's this thing where it's like if you were a decent NFL player or even a subpar NFL player, you make a better coach. Like Doug Peterson with the Eagles, right? A backup quarterback behind Favre up there, and then also in Philadelphia, better coach than player. Right here, you look at Welker, great player. Can he take the greatness that he found and channel it into these young wide receivers? Because again, we talk about it on this show a lot. the receiving core is the core with the most question marks, in my opinion. Yes, the secondary has a bunch, but what we get out of this receiving core will have a big impact on how successful the 49ers offense is going forward. Now, to get into a little bit of news or rumors going around here about possible additions to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, listen. I could have done a segment here about Tre Boston and updated you on the Tre Boston situation. We do this every single week, so I went, I'll give you all a break. There's no breaking news on Tre Boston. He's still unsigned. There's really no indicator that the Niners have reached out to him either. So we'll move on to some other players that the Niners could potentially add here, especially starting in the secondary at cornerback in Morris Claiborne. Now remember, listen, the Niners, one of the worst secondaries in the league, not the worst secondary in the league last year. You have Witherspoon there, but he struggled in coverage last year. Jason Verrett signed in the offseason, but an injury history. Could Mo Claiborne be a good addition here for the San Francisco 49ers? At the right price, I would say yes. Now remember, we remember him at Dallas a lot, right? He was a Dallas Cowboy outside cornerback for a long time. Hit and miss, good and bad, not necessarily great. He went to the Jets the past 2 years and was a really good number 2 option. Like started 15 games in back-to-back seasons for New York and makes it a case where he's like opposite of Sherman. If Sherman's the 1, Claiborne could be the number 2. Now the past 4 years stats are on your screen right now. 4 interceptions in 4 years, 152 solo tackles, started 48 games. So you look at the guy who's dependable, at least the past couple of seasons, a guy who can get and tackle in the open field, and maybe being a number 2 instead of a true number 1 could benefit Mo Claiborne a lot. The question is, how much would he cost? Well, there are different numbers out there depending on what you think his value would be. It's not going to be a ton while he's still unsigned. And hey, we all know the Niners still have a ton of money in free agency. So the question is for the Niners, do you get into training camp, or maybe in the past couple weeks in OTAs? Are you confident with the cornerbacks that you guys have had? If they are, they won't touch anybody. They'll go, all right, we're going to ride with the guys that we have. If during the offseason they look at these practices and go, hey, I'm not sure Verrett's the guy. I'm not sure Witherspoon. I'm not sure the secondary is good to go. You could bring in another body like Mo Claiborne, more competition. You sit there and go, hey, best man wins. Maybe it's Claiborne. Maybe it is not. What do you guys think? Who should, or should the 49ers look into signing Morris Claiborne? Down below, just type Y for yes and N for no. It's very simple, right? Y for yes, N for no. I'll read through the comments and see what you guys think on this one, because hey, same with Tre Boston, right? Throw some money at him. It can't hurt, in my opinion. You can't make the secondary worse by adding them, because hopefully the cream will rise to the top. So we'll see. In other 49ers news, a possible addition here. I think we did this a while back, and then nothing ever happened, and now it's starting to gain a little bit of steam again. Michael Crabtree. Right? If I just pause right there. Remember him? Some of you guys are probably going, no. Some are going, interesting. Still a wide receiver on the market, and with the current wide receiver situation in the Niners locker room, you could sit here and go, well, maybe we add another body and see what happens. Because again, there's like 6 spots up for grabs. In reality, we did this a couple weeks ago. There's like 3, because Hurd, Samuel, and Pettis are all locked in. So you'd bring him into a crowded, technically, room trying to fight for those 3 spots. There's like 8 people fighting for 3 spots. But again, he doesn't cost a lot of money. You bring him in, if he plays really well, boom, he's elevated, and then you have a good receiver, a veteran receiver on your squad. Profile, again, last year with the Ravens, 54 catches. The problem is that he was targeted like 90 times, so you talk about the catch rate is a little bit low. 607 receiving yards, but he did have 5 games out of like the 15 that he started in with 50 yards or more in those 5 games. You sit there and you go, well, he can still play. The question is, at what level, and would he be better than the receivers that we have right now? I don't know. I got to see what happens in terms of training camp with Hurd, with Samuel, with Goodwin. Listen, the Niners receiving core is the biggest question mark on this team right now, and it will only get more confusing if you get into training camp and they're all struggling, right? If even the rookies are struggling, and you talk about Welker can't get them under control, they don't like what they see. Same situation with Mo Claiborne at the cornerback position. They could look to bring in another wide receiver to possibly go, hey, throw him in there. If he plays well, great. If not, then we just cut him again and let him go. Moving right along here, actually, let's go ahead and do another question. This will be a little easier, right? Thumbs up emoji. It's on your phones. Thumbs up if you guys want or would be interested in signing Michael Crabtree. Thumbs down if you're like, no, we're done with him, don't want to see him again. So I think I know which we'll get more of, but you can always go down below right now and insert which one you guys like. Finally, a little impact news here in terms of OTAs. Little storylines keep coming out from OTAs. This one surrounding the newest linebacker for our 49ers in Kwon Alexander. Is he already making an impact even though he has not been on the field at all? So again, Kwon Alexander has not practiced once yet. That's based on the fact that he tore his ACL last October, which if you do the math for an ACL, October compared to Garoppolo's week 3, it's tough, right? He's still working his way back. But linebacker coach DeMeco Ryans, another former player, played in Philadelphia and in Houston. A little theme here on Kyle Shanahan's staff. DeMeco Ryans, the linebacker coach, already sees a lot of help and a big impact from Kwon Alexander off the field. Ryan said in a quote the past couple of days, he's been great for us because he brings a different type of energy, according to NBC Sports Bay Area. He brings swagger that I think we were kind of missing. He brings that edge that we needed, and he's been great in our meeting room. So you can throw up the stats right now for Kwon Alexander. 271 total tackles in his career, 31 tackles for a loss, 6 interceptions. Great. Right? Great inside linebacker. Love the addition this offseason. If he's healthy, same with Garoppolo. We come back from an ACL, right? If he's healthy, he's going to be a huge impact on this defense. But I like what DeMeco said in terms of the energy he's bringing. They missed it last year, and just having one guy there with the right mindset, with the right energy, can elevate the linebackers around you and really help improve this front seven for the 49ers, which again, we talk about it, the 49er front seven, most improved part of the team. It's easy. Defensive line, Bosa, Ford, Kwon Alexander at linebacker, it's going to be really, really good. So, as we conclude this video, really the only question marks you have going forward with the 49ers, wide receiver, right, who wins these positions, and it's a question of can they be a B- receiving core or like a C+ receiving core? Where will you be? And then the secondary, will it be bottom of the league? Will it be bottom half of the league? Or could they actually play well with a healthy Richard Sherman? And whenever Brett gets good to go, we'll see. Again, that's all we have today for the San Francisco 49ers news and rumors video. We're back every week, normally 2 videos per week. We'll do another mailbag sometime next week, so you can always comment down below with the question, or the start of the question, #49ers. I'll answer it for you in video form. And of course, subscribe to Chat Sports here on YouTube. Again, for Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.